Hello, everyone. We have night one of the Great American Bash, and we're going to be talking about it on the Meta-Two AfterShow right here. I am here with the lovely Katrina. In Cat We Trust. How are you?
I am okay. I'm okay, not too bad. How are you?
You know, I like okays because that leaves room for improvement. I am, you know, I'm okay. I'm going to steal your answer. How about that? That's great. But we have the first night of the Great American Bash. I'm gonna say for me, this just felt like a regular episode of NXT. Like it just wasn't hitting until the end. Like the match with Roxanne and Thea definitely was match of the night by far, easy. What would you say like to that? Like,
yeah, no, I'm kind of with you on that. I do think that was probably the match for me, and I also agree with reference to yeah, with reference to it feeling like a regular episode. I kind of agree there. It's like okay, this is what we get. But it wasn't terrible. It's just I definitely agree that it was more so on the scope of it was very kind of okay, got it, understood, that kind of thing.
yeah, no, definitely that. But let's start talking about it. There was like a little feather. It scared me. But yeah, so we start off with Hank and Tank. I think that they're trying to like position them in places where they can show their personality because I do feel like that is like the biggest negative to them is the lack of personality, the lack of me even like being able to relate to them. So I thought this was cute. You know, them breaking in, like it's like, okay. So they were the hosts. We then have Jakar Jackson and Lash Legend versus the Unholy Alliance. Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. I was excited about this. Like I don't know if I thought that the titles they would change hands. Like I'm going down. Like I didn't think they would change hands, but I was excited about the matchup, is what I will say. So let me pull out my handy dandy notebook right here. So for most of the matchup, it was kind of Isla and Alba kind of keeping Lash out of the match because I mean, again, they're always gonna try and make Lash look like that person who's kind of the powerhouse, the most like integral part to the group. So they kept getting her out. Jakara, in the beginning, she also tried like a roll up. Hey, try what you can. At one point, Isla does a tarantula, and Alba does a super kick to Jakara while she's doing the tarantula to Jakara, which I thought was really cute. I'm like, okay. I like. At some point, Jakara did hit a smooth dive, which I love. It just looks so smooth and cute. I was like, yes, girl, you better do it. I think she even retweeted it on her Twitter earlier. So, she knew she ate as well. After a while, we get Lash. She hit a fall away slam with a kip up and then a backbreaker on Alba for a pin attempt. Alba then hit a backbreaker and then hit a swanton off the top rope. Hey, Jeff, how are y'all? How you doing? After that, Isla hits a Meteora on Lash on the outside, again keeping her away because they don't want her to get her momentum going, because when she does, it's not good for whoever's opposing her. In the end, Isla and Alba hit their finisher. They get the win as we expected. Jakara takes the pin because, again, they want Lash to look good. Like, she's not going to look crazy. They're not going to make her look crazy. Even in defeat, they're going to make sure she doesn't look crazy. After, we have Ethan Page, who comes out to make fun of Oro Mensah, but you know what? Honestly, as he should, because you know what? Oro, you with your little fast counts, you just popping up just because, like, girl, that's like getting a pin on me at the hot dog stand and thinking like you got status. Like, girl, What is going on? Like, enough is enough. Enough is enough. So then Oro gets another quick roll up on Ethan when he's not expecting it because they're not having a match. And Jakara and Lash do the pin attempts. Like, I'm like, okay. Again, another pin that doesn't matter. I don't understand what you're getting at. Like, it was actually pissing me off. But what were your thoughts on the match and the aftermath?
I definitely think this was a good match. To be fair, I did not think the Unholy Union would lose. I thought you can't have them win against a Bianca and a Jade and then they lose this soon. I would be very surprised. I didn't think they were gonna lose, but I do think they definitely had a good showing. I kind of with you there. I think Jakara probably took the pin was because I don't know if they're gonna separate Lash Legend at some point away from Jakara if that's what they're trying to do. But I do get the impression that they're really on Lash Legend, like in regards that they like her enough that I can very well see them pushing her even separately from Jakara as much as we may not like that. But I thought it was a solid match. I was cool with the win. I mean, I wouldn't have been unhappy if Jakara and Lash Legend got it. I was like, oh shit, I'd been okay, but I didn't think they would just because it seems a little too soon for Unholy Union to lose. With that being said, with regard to Oro Mensah, I mean, no, she's great. Um, it's like, all right, first of all, like I guess Ethan being there, I'm like, all right, this is probably not the time, only because the person, the people that was wrestling wasn't the person that's bothering you. So I feel like you gotta do like this is what you gotta read the room. Read the room. In the room right now, why were you talking shit about Oro Mensah when he was not the person that was wrestling? So like, I don't know, Ethan, I need to get back together. I just want to read the room. With that being said, though, I'm gonna have to agree with you there. It's the equivalent, like when people joked about how the 24/7 championship was, because if you anybody remember the Attitude Era when like I thought the funniest person with that hardcore title when you basically had stuff happening no matter where you was, bathroom, bedroom, whatever, you just got pinned. Um, you expected that, and people then the 24/7 title with like R-Truth doing another extra with it. So it's kind of one of those situations where there's not a belt involved. You pinning me randomly is like, all right, well, you pinned me randomly. You gotta pin me when it matters though. I'm gonna talk shit. Like you could have pinned me. Maybe I just wasn't caring that much that hard. Like I wouldn't, and if I was Ethan, actually, I wouldn't even let him know this was bothering me. Like you didn't pin me for real, so I don't care how many you could pin me 50 times. If it ain't for the title, guess what, my guy? Supposed to be you. And so do I think it's kind of weird? But if anything, I think this is more so it's gonna make Ormento look like he might be a threat, and I think that's what they're doing. But I don't think he's a threat to Ethan Page because Ethan Page beat you know some people who could have been very you can might think I don't know if you know what I mean. Like I feel like with him with the fatal 4-way type of match, this could have went anyway, and he won it. So yeah, and I'm kind of with you on that. Like, if you feel like you keep getting pinned randomly, I feel like this is the time to like just slow your roll. This is when you have to send a tweet, or you better do the Titantron. People talk shit to the Titantron. You better make that Titantron video. You better pull a diadract with sunglasses on in a room and just say what you need to say, but from the Titantron area, not from the ring. But or Mensa, I'm like, you saying all this, and you're not going to win next week. So okay, what have we learned? What have we learned, class? But otherwise, I thought the match was good. And I don't know. I feel like Earl is too concerned on these random pins. You got to be concerned about the actual match where you really have to pin, which will be next week.
Facts. I agree. Ethan definitely let it be known that he was bothered by even coming out when he wasn't even having a match. I wish you did not do that, Sir Ethan. Honestly, you're embarrassing the camp. Don't do it again. But seriously, Oro, like I'm over it. I don't even. And the people who are like, because people are just so dramatic about things to be like, oh, he's speaking mockery of the title. Look at the champ. He's on his back every week. Oh. because of a quick little roll up. That's not even a real roll up. It's not real. It's not real. And you're like, look at him. He's a terrible champ. Get a life. That's what I have to say to such humans. But next, we have Sean Spears talking to the youth, spreading his message of deception and evil, which we support. We by me and the voices. So then Cedric Alexander has something to say about this. He calls Brooks Jensen weak, which is rude and very unprovoked and not nice. And so Brooks obviously is like, who are you talking about? Because you cannot be talking about me. And so, match for later. Seeds posted. Seeds. What do you, actually, was there another one? Hank interviews Tavion Heights, which at some point they're going to have to drop that last name because I cannot do it. I cannot do it. He's talking to him and he starts talking about how he's an Olympic, he does a lot of Olympic things and he's great. And we support him and we love him. Like, shout out to you for, being gifted. Because if there was an Olympics for game playing, gold medal over here. And then we have Tank interviewing Tony D, and he's basically like, yeah, I get in the field too. I don't care about all that. I'm gonna beat him up, bada bing. That's basically what he said. What are your thoughts on these 3 segments?
I thought they were. I know how you feel about Hank and Tank. Specifically, I feel like you might dislike Hank more than Tank, if I'm not mistaken. But like, I'm not really sure why they were the ones like giving the interviews. It's just, I don't know. Maybe that's just me, because I'm like, yeah. So see, it wasn't just me. I was really confused of why they were doing the interviews. I'm like, oh, did they get like a promotion? Like, what's happening here? Did they get demoted? If you want to count that as demotion, I don't know. I was a little surprised here. I was okay with interviews, but I was kind of just like, but why are you guys interviewing? And then as a fellow backstage correspondent, you look the way you're supposed to be looking. You look the part, okay? You look the part. That's what you did. These vibes are doing. You look the part. You look the way you're supposed to look. So those are cool. As far as this Brooks, listen, I don't know what these comms talking about. That's Keith McGuy. Like, Keith McGuy, it's Josh Briggs who we really gotta, okay, because he's been doing shenanigans. Brooks Jensen was just trying to thrive. He really was, and it just was snatched away from him. And so I'm hyped for this match. Okay, I want Brooks to get the people up and stuff, as you should. The one time you need somebody to be a part of the crew, like, see, where's family when you need her? Now the one time you need her to be available for shenanigans, she's not available. Like, girl, you was minding business all the time. Now all of a sudden you see your squad fighting and you know where to be found. Let's get it together. Even if that is the case, that does not change what I said. Okay, sometimes you can be, a little bit short on money, and you can still do what needs to be done. If anything, he's more dangerous if he's broke. Then you really gotta beat him up a little bit, Is that what happened? Is this what we saw? He's trying to help him? Oh. Let me go ask a friend how you help me if this was me. I just want to know. I'm gonna ask the random people. I'm like, guys, if this is me, is this how you help me personally? But yeah, no, segments are cool.
My friend is helping me by beating me up, by throwing me up against lockers like he's a school bully. Is that help? I don't know if I'm aging out. I don't remember help being like that from your friends. And you know what? Brooks he doesn't look broke. He looks humble. So you think about that. I also missed another little backstage segment with Pete Dunne where he was just talking about how he was mad at Shane. He basically said, Sheamus allowed me to be called Butch while he thrived, and now I'm mad about it. And honestly, being upset because you had to wrestle under the name Butch is so fair. And I'm honestly on Pete's side. So that's where I'm at on that. What do you think about Pete Dunne being upset?
I don't know, my thing did that. Yeah, I guess I kind of understand it to like a slight extent, maybe. Uh, I mean, I guess to an extent, I can understand it, but it's also like, to be fair, he was former champion, so I mean, I feel like Trick is doing what everybody else does when they're former champions. Let's make all of these decisions about how I want things to play out, how I want things to be. But I to an extent I do understand it to an extent, but also it's like, well, Pete, you just kind of got back down here. There's also like, I don't know, you want to calm that down tad. And I like Pete Dunne. I do. That's the guy right there. But personally, if you came back and you're talking to me wild crazy, like, oh, I want to, I'm like, first of all, let's calm that down. See, this is why this would have been like, this could have been an email that I didn't respond to. Like, it just wouldn't have got opened. It wouldn't have got read. You know. Yeah, you see, you know what? Let me just go back to this comment about Fallon targeting rookies. Thank you. Okay, like, she's too busy doing shenanigans. So see, she's never in the right spot at the right time. When she needs to be minding businesses, she's too busy doing shenanigans. But then when she could have minded her cowgirl business, all of a sudden she was involved. This is the time she was stepping, like, you know what, guys, you don't need to fight, you don't need to argue. But I feel like she needs to get it together. Give the priority straight. Priority straight. I mean, that's what I'm thinking, I guess. To be fair, I considered her a heel when she was minding people's businesses. I know she was supposed to be, but I considered her one. Because if you can't mind yours, how much of a face can you be? Just saying.
She's literally been a heel this entire time. I don't know what you're talking about, Jeffrey. She's too busy giving the CEO of PETA a heart attack every time she makes her entrance.
And I'll give you the shit as well.
We have Tavion Heights versus Tony D for the Heritage Cup. We're going to run through this because they took 72 hours. The first two rounds, it was just them grappling, doing a lot. Like, they was doing a lot of wrestling, rolling around, trying to just get that advantage. But they were kind of evenly matched, honestly. So those first two rounds don't matter. We then have, in the third round, Tony hits a superplex. Actually, he hit that in the second round. Don't let me lie to you like that. Guys, don't ever let me lie to you like that again. The third round, Tony hits one of his finishers, and he gets the pin. So it's 1-0 in the third round. Tony said, enough. He threw his chalice down and said, enough. Then Ren Sinclair is in the audience cheering on No Quarter Catch Crew. I love the addition of her, and I'm glad that they found something for her because I feel like she was definitely getting lost in the shuffle for a little bit. But this has been great, and she's honestly been doing such a great job and just helping with make the No Quarter Catch Crew more interesting, definitely. And so after that, the third round, when Tony finally gets the first fall, we then have Tavion, who gets really hyped up by Ren and starts just going crazy. He hit a crisp belly to belly, got a pinfall. We tied now. The next round, round 5, Tavion hits a gut wrench suplex for an attempt. It did not work. A lot of suplexing. That's like his thing, a lot of suplexing. Like, this is actually Suplex City if you really think about it, because it was so much suplexing. Tony trips Tavion onto the ropes, though. It wasn't going to work. He then gets the win. Tony is still the Heritage Cup champion, to my dismay, because I think that this cup has really gone down since it left the hands of Noam Dar. Someone has to do something and get this away from this man. No shade, Tony, I like you. But I'm sorry. This is the least I have been invested in the Heritage Cup the entire time. I'm being honest here. You are great. You are a great man. You are the best wife beater wearer I've ever seen. You're doing amazing. But the Heritage Cup is it's not working for me. It's not. It's not. Um, what are your thoughts on this?
I mean, I'm with you. The first two was definitely it was something. It was something. But it wasn't terrible necessarily. I'm kind of with you there on Tony D'Angelo. See, he spent all that time. Agreed. Because if somebody slapped me, that's all I'm saying. But personally, all the time we've seen Tony D'Angelo talking about the family and all the stuff that the family likes to do, and all this threatening, like he was to my guy. Yeah, you know, all the threatening he was doing, and now here he is being unimportant. See, if he would have took the time, if he would have took the time to maybe do something else and not threaten people, then maybe he'd be a more entertaining Heritage Cup winner. But he's not. Here we are with somebody holding a Heritage Cup, and I'm bored, completely bored. So I definitely think that she should have lost it, but here we are. Um, I do think Carrion looked pretty good in this. Honestly, I do think he looked really well, but Tony D'Angelo did win this. I don't know. I know I was seeing somebody was like that Tony D'Angelo should go to the main roster. And I'm like, why? Like, I'm gonna need y'all to get that. I'm gonna need y'all to get that together. Why would I want him in the main roster taking up TV time? Why? The only thing I need to see in the main roster is somebody coming back, and you already know who it is. And so until then, my life is kind of empty, because it's like, oh, I turn on my TV and it's like, oh, he's not here. Another week, you know. So we don't need to waste TV time with Tony D'Angelo. Don't let like this. If you want to make him go down to like 205 Live or whatever, level up, whatever it is again. I know that's like this is what we're gonna do fine. This is what we're gonna do fine. But don't play with me like this. I'm gonna agree. I do think Stacks definitely did take some time off. We haven't seen him a little bit or something. He definitely has. But yeah, I just whatever. I feel like it wasn't bad. I do think that Tony D'Angelo needs to lose it soon. I do. I feel like he has not done anything to make me want to be like, okay, I want to see what you do next. Uh, but it wasn't bad. I do think Tarion really, Tarion, excuse me, he really. I was like, okay, look at you. I see it. I do agree. Also, I don't particularly like his last name. I feel like the Heights. Tarion Heights sound like it might be a place or something. I think that's the problem I'm having with it. It feels like it's a place, like some random place. He's like, oh, you would meet me, and he's like, oh, meet me here at Tarion Heights. First of all, see, I wasn't even talking about him. See, look at you being wrong. That is not who I. That's not who I was mentioning. I know Ilya Dragunov is on TV. He's supposed to have TV time, but that is not who currently don't have TV time. This is my shit. This is not who I'm talking about having TV time. There is somebody who's been missing for weeks because somebody raggedy self had to win a title. I mean, whatever. He had to cry and cry and cry some more. And now my guy has been gone for weeks and I am lost. But it's fine. It's fine. But yeah, those are my thoughts.
We love those thoughts. More yelling. We love it. Brooks Jensen versus Cedric Alexander. So this was kind of like even in the beginning, like it was a back and forth, but then Cedric started turning it up. Brooks did catch Cedric in the corner, but he got a pin attempt. Cedric hit a kick to why did I say sack? Anyways, kick to the back of Jensen's head and then hit a kip up and then hit a Michinoku driver for a pin attempt. Brooks did this like he tried to do a move on the outside. I was so mad with him because who told you to do that? He did it and he ended up hitting that sweet leg on the announce table. I felt so bad. And it looked like it hurt. Like, how do people be doing this and not actually be in pain? Because when I literally hit my knee on a corner, I'm leveled for at least 20 minutes. So after he hit his leg on the announce table, he did hit a really cool leg drop before that though. Let's get into that. But after he hit his leg on the announce table, Cedric takes advantage. He gets the pin. Brooks is upset. I would be upset too. Sean Spears is upset. Sean, why didn't you do anything? You should have helped. He was just standing there enjoying the view. You should have did something. You should have did whatever Rich Holland was trying to tell Thea to do. Is what you should have did, Sean. What were your thoughts on this match, and what are your thoughts on this new duo? And Cedric, like I'm just like, okay, 1 week he's losing, 1 week he's winning, 1 week he's like it just seems like a start and stop 50-50 thing with him at this point.
Yeah, I'm guessing with Cedric winning this, I think maybe it's because like technically he would be the vet of the two, maybe give him some credibility. Coming back to NXT, I guess. But yeah, it's weird because I felt like Brooks needed to win as well. I feel like if you're trying to never. I feel like Brooks also needed the win, but I also think Cedric did as well because you have to kind of establish him being back here. And so it wasn't bad. I do think it could have been more action, I guess. And it was kind of weird because I'm just tired of seeing Sean Spears. Like, can we just? I mean, I know people like him, but I don't. Okay, I don't like him, and so I'm tired of seeing him pop up. It's like, all right, but I didn't ask for you. I did not ask for you, Sean. There's only one Sean that I want to see on NXT, and it's not you. Okay. So that is, but it wasn't terrible necessarily, but it was one of those like, for me at least, kind of matches. Not terrible though, not terrible. I just, whatever. And to what is this? I like don't be doing this. Don't be putting some negativity in there. CM Punk is CM Punk. Phil can say what he needs to say. Katrina, on the other hand, she said what she said. Never, ever. Okay, and yes, Jeffrey, I am lost. It's been a tough few weeks. April, life have been very weird since April. What is my issue? I don't like him. Okay, that's the issue. Like, why are we gonna ask all these X, Y's, and Z's and all this? I don't like him. That's why. Maybe Sean Spears do something else. Maybe he would have won. I don't know. But be useful. If you're gonna be out there, be useful. Wasting time and stuff.
You're not wrong. Yeah, okay, so we now have Javon Evans talking about how he was influenced by Jeff Hardy and RVD. I'm not gonna lie, when he was like, am I gonna get in trouble if I say this? Don't upset me. Don't upset me right now. Okay? Stop it. Don't ask that again. He basically said how he used to tell his teachers to suck it. That's everyone. Like, everyone does that, though. Shout out to him. Those are great influences for sure. Joe Hendry's backstage talking to some of the amazing ladies in the back. He's about to go out to do his, performance. He's about to, get the girls going, We then have a Rascals Treehouse segment, and they talk about how they didn't actually, well, not they, but, MSK didn't actually lose the tag titles, which we all remember. And they are basically plotting on Axiom and Nathan, which obviously I hate. I hate so much, but we're going to get an amazing match regardless. What were your thoughts on these 3 segments?
I was okay with it. Like I know people like Joe Hendry. I know people like Joe Hendry and all. You know, I just I don't know. I do not believe in Joe Hendry, and I know this is gonna make people upset, and that's fine. But I don't know. It's just something about, first of all, like his little video, Titron video where he's like clapping and he got that tight shirt on and he's clapping. I don't know why it bothers me so much, but like clapping with that weird smile on your face and your shirt looking like it's about to pop is like, it just triggers me in a way. It triggers me in a way it shouldn't trigger me, but it does. But I felt like people like him backstage is fine. I would say like Gallus coming out and the crowd being upset. I was like, all right, okay. So it was all right. As far as the stuff with the Rascals, I agree there. Um, they didn't lose it necessarily. It just kind of went really bad. What happened? So true. With that being said, it doesn't mean they need to win. Like you don't have to lose it, but you don't just be coming in and keep like I like Wesley and all. I do. It's my guy. But I'm gonna need you to get your homies in check. They can't just be coming in here. It's like somebody coming to it's like somebody from Jersey come to New York, tell them what they're gonna be doing. You're gonna do what? What you're gonna do is take yourself back to Jersey, in an unappointed state. That's where you take yourself back to. Or take yourself to some other ridiculous part of New York that nobody cares about. Like some place in like Long Island or Albany. And that's what you do. Those the vibe. It's like if somebody goes, oh, New York City, we next about this. It's not about y'all. It's about us. Those vibes. So I was cool with that. As far as Javon Evans talking about, Jeff Hardy and Crawford, I'm just saying personally, Rob Van Dam was a cool guy, and y'all all know love me some Jeffrey, but Jeffrey's pissed me off. So yeah. But Jeffrey had the habit of doing things that just pissed me off, like not doing what he needs to do. He did some stuff like I liked all the high flying stuff. For the love of Christ, yeah, one job. Okay, so as long as Javon don't do that, we good. Not you. When Jeff Hardy does shenanigans, I have to say Jeffrey. I have to use his full name because he don't know how to act. He don't know how to act. When he has one job and it's stressing me out, I got to use full name. So this wasn't you. This was Jeffrey Hardy shenanigans. I'm hoping they don't lose because they'll do this to me and all. But yeah. And as far as me not liking Joe Hendry, you'll be fine. Who said blasphemy? Which one was that? No, that was you, Jeffrey. Yes, that's on you. That's on you. I said what I said. Okay.
Yeah, no, I mean, I thought the concert was cute, and I liked that the crowd they passed the vibe check, which is like, this is so monumental for me because I never compliment the NXT crowd. So for me to say that they passed the vibe check with just like keeping the energy nice, because they could have been like douchebags about it and like, boo, you know how they like to do. Like sometimes they get, woo! Sometimes. We got deported for having awful facial hair. That made me laugh a little bit. I'm not gonna lie to you. I like Joe. He's good vibes, I think he's very great with like crowd interaction, and that's so important sometimes. So he's great. I'm enjoying him and his velvety shirts. So now we have Roxanne Perez backstage, and she just basically like, leave me alone. I'm winning. I'm going to still be the champion. And Jada Parker says, we'll see if you're still champion. I don't know what that means, but we'll see. We then have Ethan Page and Oro backstage with Ava. I mean, they're going to literally, she's going to have gray hairs very soon because they're stressing my sister out. They're stressing her out really bad. And I just love how she's gotten so comfortable in her role. Like, it's really cool to see. Like, she's a great on-screen character, and that's okay. I feel like people put so much pressure on, like, you have to, wrestle at some point. Sometimes there are amazing, awesome on-screen characters that never had to wrestle once, and they were still iconic and left such a huge mark in the wrestling community. So she's chef's kiss. I'm loving it. But Ethan basically told Oro, which is true, that he granted him a gift by giving him a title shot because, girl, you got it for no reason. Let me roll someone up at a ball pit, and then they talking about, yeah, so now I won, I beat you. No. Oro says he's very upset because Ethan put Noam on the shelf, as we know, and we felt the loss. We have felt the lack of his presence. We have. At the end of the day, Oro is not winning. All this extraness about some roll-up pins, you're not winning. No way. Listen, I'm not even gonna make no crazy bets, but I will jump out of my 6th floor window if Oro wins. Just kidding. I'm totally not gonna do that. But he's definitely not winning, is what I'm saying. What were your thoughts on those two little segments? And then we'll get into Jada Parker versus Kendall Gray.
Yeah, no, so it wasn't bad. I thought it was pretty decent. I didn't particularly like, Jada, and I like her and all, but I felt like, so priorities. I'm all about priorities. Her kind of mentioning something to Roxanne. It's like, girl, now, girl. I'm just saying that you can't be talking like that. Let me tell you, a phone call will be made, but I'm gonna get to that comment. I was like, girl, you can't be talking about Roxanne when you'd even like. I would need you, like, don't do that. Don't do that. I'm gonna need you to get your focus on with the match at hand. You reached too far right now. Let's lower that back down a bit. Okay, lower it back down. Um, but it wasn't bad. I thought, obviously this is more of a squash. I think, if anything, it seems like that's what they kind of went for, and I'm guessing it kind of keeps setting her up as like a really good, like, somebody who might, can take on Roxanne, but I really don't think even if she gets a title defense against Roxanne, I do not see her beating Roxanne either. Like, it's either going to be Julia or Stephanie, uh, depending on what they're going to do with it. We'll see. But you got Kendall some time to do some stuff outside of Level Up, so that's cool. Cool stuff. I'm not sure why like Miles and Ren was outside at the ringside. I'm just like, why are you there? Like, I'm gonna need you to just get it together. Get it together. But it wasn't terrible. It definitely wasn't a terrible match. And I'm actually okay just to that uh with her going for the North American Championship. I think that's fine. I think her going straight to like talk shit to Roxanne. I was like, girl, you gotta get there first. Let's slow your roll. Okay, you're doing too much. Now, as far as that comment about calling, you damn right I am. If don't play with me like this. You don't have Ethan come back, and then all of a sudden I'm seeing Oro as champion. Like, Sean, listen. I'm like, listen here, Michael, because clearly we not here. I want to be here. Okay, when I don't feel here, I have to make a call. Don't do that. You don't want those kind of vibes. I'm gonna bring all my negative energy to you. You don't want that. Okay, so I don't think Oro messes with it. Like, if he really wins, I don't know. I might have to just sit and like let me think about something for a bit. I'm gonna have to think about life, because why? Um, but yeah, we shall see. I definitely do think that she could go for the North American Championship though. I don't know why she was going to talk. I'm like, girl, stop. I like you, but like, Roxanne's better than me, because you damn right. Okay. Listen. He gonna be like, I'm gonna find where, like, in Texas. Like, listen here, because clearly I need to visit you. Clearly you don't know how to act when I'm not watching. Okay. Just making sure. As long as you understand this, Sean, let it marinate. Um, as far as just Tatum, okay, that doesn't change what I said about Jada still kind of go for the North American Championship. It just means Tatum is challenging for it. I'm just thinking Jada went too far up. Gotta go yourself back down the middle management. Go back down there. And then anybody saw Deadpool, so you know why I said that line. But middle management, right there in the middle area. You gotta just let's not reach too high yet. You're not there yet. But yeah, those are my thoughts.
All right, Happy Hogan. Jeez. Yeah, no, Kendall is like, she was definitely like leaving a lasting impression with me. Like, she was very crisp with a lot of her moves. I was just like, I like this. I still don't understand why Miles came out. Like, they're gonna stop making Miles a butt of jokes, or else sick of it. But Kendall, rookie mistake, taking your eye off the prize for trivial reasons. You catch a loss to Jada, who I feel like watching this match is improving so much. Like, I see the improvements. I really do. And I do agree she needs to just stay with the North America. I do see her taking the title from Kelani at some point. I think that her and Tatum will have a nice little, program going on. But I do see Jada being the eventual taker from Kelani, but she's been great. Thea and Ridge have a heart-to-heart, and he's sounding like a supervillain. Like I said, I've been saying this man is up to something. Nobody wants to listen. The way with which he was saying, do whatever it takes, to Thea was giving bad influence. And you would think after how many times she would catch on to this, but she just... she never catches on. I don't know what to say at this point. Axiom is, chilling. They come up to him about, signing off for the tag match with MSK. Axiom's like, whatever, like, we got it in the bag. What I don't like what Nathan did, throwing in Axiom's face that he got pinned. Like, girl, you ain't take a pin before. Why do you always like to say things like as if you are not taking pins yourself, Nathan? You're not perfect. You're not perfect. You're not going to keep throwing little stones at Axiom just because he's getting a little bit of shine. When you was getting your shine, you didn't want nobody to say nothing. But now that Axiom's getting his shine, you have so much to say. It's getting on my nerves. And you better lock in. You better lock in next week. Since you have so much to say about locking in, you better lock in. And if y'all don't win, it's your fault. I don't even care who takes a pin. Petty times. I don't care. What were your thoughts on these two segments?
I'm with you. I'm with you on there. Nathan, like, I'm like, listen here, Nathan. Let's see, Action's better than me because Nathan will have to get flipped. Like, you got one time too many be talking to me wild crazy. I'm like, me being petty P and petty Betty that I am. I'm like, let's look at the chart of you being where you need to be at all times, and then we're gonna look at it. Okay. I didn't particularly like that, and I didn't like that at all. I was like, let's get that together. Doing too much shenanigans. But yeah, no, I'm kind of, they weren't bad segments. I'm okay with them. I do think it's definitely hyping up for stuff next week. I'm hyped for that. But yeah, I think I was more irritated with Nathan because I was like, my guy, it probably is because Nathan is talking wild crazy. Like, he's probably going to be the reason they lose because he don't know how to get himself together. I'm gonna need him to focus. First is he want to do 20 things. Then, oh, actually, I'm doing it. Got a problem with that. No, it's like, oh, I'm taking, like, my guy, I'm sorry. When they had the matches, were you not losing? Because I could have sworn you was. Because when you had before you had teamed up to be bust butts, you was losing. I'm gonna just need him. This one time you gotta just accept that maybe I'm the problem. I think he needs to. Well, they might be right. I can't even. I can't even. I can't even say anything. It might not be. I can't even say anything about that. We might not see it at all. But yeah, they were okay. They wasn't that thing.
Yes. We now have man tag action.
And
exactly. That's the point. Nathan was mad about it. He didn't want him to say nothing. So now he needs to keep that same energy. That's what we saying. We calling him to the carpet.
Well, I was saying,
See. Yeah, we have JC Jane, Jasmine Nix, and Fallon Henley versus Sol Ruka, Carmen Petrovich, and Lola Vice. This was a fun match, though. I feel like everyone got their hits off, and I think the girls really brought it. I'm just gonna point out some things from the match that I really liked, because we're not going over the whole thing, because that thing was long. Sol from the beginning hit an X Factor on Fallon, then surfed on her back, which is very disrespectful. Like, I could think of a lot of things someone could do on my back that, not that I said that, it sounds really wrong, but I'm just saying surfing on someone's back is super, super disrespectful. Carmen hit Nick's square in the mouth at one point. I don't know if anybody caught that. She kicked her dead in the mouth. Like, I saw it. See me? The match is over. Time out. I can't do it. You just kicked me in the mouth. We gotta stop. We gotta take a break. We just gotta regroup, because whoa. But Jasmine kept going, and I love that about her. She's really starting to grow on me. She has a nice Pele kick. It's not better than a Finn's, but it's a good Pele kick though. JC hit a really crisp. She was hitting a few crisp like pin reversals. I was really feeling it. Like, I love a good pin reversal. Like, yes, do it, girl. Lola was kicking everybody at one point. That's standard for any Lola match. She's kicking everybody. Refraining from kicking the refs sometimes, but sometimes that still happens. Carmen hit a low dive, and then Sol Ruka hit like this. It was like a corkscrew off the top rope to the outside. What's wrong with this girl? She does too many things that are insane and lands on her feet half the time. Bionic knee, lady. Bionic knee. Sol hit her double flip clothesline that was very popular online, but she did it on two people this time. So it was cool. And then after that, we get triple hip attacks from all Sol. It was Sol, Carmen, and Lola. I'm sorry, there's like 7 names in this match. Please give me a minute. I'm trying to say them all. Sol then hit a powerbomb on Fallon for a failed pin attempt. Nix then hit a fisherman suplex for a pin attempt yet again. Vic did say something on the he said something that I really wanted to just highlight, because some people said some very rude things about NXT when they don't got you don't have it. You don't have it. Don't say that. Don't say nothing crazy. But he said, how can anyone call NXT a joke? And I agree. You really cannot. The proof is in the pudding. The producing is producing. Anyone that's saying such things or saying negative things about the NXT roster, who we know who they are, and we do care about them, and they're not losers. Maybe the people saying it are the losers. Anyways, Jasmine, just the more I see from her in this match, she's really improving. I'm really starting to like her a lot. Fallon hits her finisher for the win. What are your thoughts on this match?
I thought this was a really fun match. Actually, I thought this was really fun. I do think that Sol Ruka and Carmen and Lola did work well together, but I do think that it felt like, Fallon and JC and Jasper was a little bit more cohesive. And it's possible that, JC was on the team before, Fallon was with her group, that it might be some level of type of like, tag teaming type situations, but they had like really, really, really good sequences personally. And I thought, like Jasmine agreed, she definitely has improved since the first time we have seen her. Carmen did her thing. And I even thought there was moments where Soroka really hit it. And I know sometimes she's been the last few weeks kind of been a little bit. Listen, I'll get to that in a sec. But I think they really showed out in this match. I think if anything, they might have definitely even to the point where it's like over delivering. I definitely did like the save from Soroka for the double suplex, and then they did like the side by side drop kicks. That was pretty cool. But I thought it was a really fun match. I actually really enjoyed this. I think the ladies really did their thing. I actually even think, as much as I don't really, not that I like Lola Vice because I really don't. But I feel like with Fallon, I think this might have been the right win. And this is these one of the situations, just to that comment, that JC needs to stop letting people just do whatever. Because how you come into the group last and talk, making it like it's your team. Like, this is my problem with Fallon. She never knew her lane. Stay in your lane, Fallon. For the love of everything, stay in your lane. But it was a really, really, really fun match. I enjoyed this match. With that being said, to that comment, I know why he said it, and I don't care. Okay? People make characters every day in WWE 2K24. I know a few people who put their whole lives into this. Okay? People who think because they did this 20 years that they are important. I know the vibes. He is still incorrect about saying that NXT ain't important because I don't even know who he is. When he was saying that, I was like, who are you? I don't know who you are. I can't remember to look you up to know who you are. So that says a lot. Says a lot. Personally, I would have been rude. Personally, if I was Pat, I would have been like, I'm all for the honest friend. You can be an honest person without being a dick or a douche or whatever. So you can be like, we don't need to do all of that. We don't need to do these type of shenanigans. You can say yay for being in the game without being insulted. Personally, that's what I would have done. They'd have been mad at me. Close enough. Let's get it together. He lucky that wasn't me because I'm petty. I would have gotten in trouble. I would have been like, let me look up who you are on Google and see what this shows me. Oh, not important. So put a picture of just nothing. Okay. Well,
Exactly.
I guess. It wasn't the time to replace, but like I said, personally, because I'm a petty person, I can be very petty. If I was Pat, I would have called in right that moment if I was one of those NXT wrestlers. I'm like, oh, you got a phone line? Let me just make a little call. I'm like, who are you? And then I'll hung up the phone. You come back. You come back when, yes, you come back when you can tell me who the fuck you are. And then talk about what I'm not important. NXT is important enough that TNA is working with them. NXT is important enough that you got The Rock's daughter there. NXT is important enough that you got Shawn Michaels there. I'm just saying, I've been petty as fuck, but this is why this didn't happen to me. The universe knows. It knows. It knows the vibes I'd be on. I'd be on petty vibes. But yeah,
I don't know who it is. Still don't know who he is. I don't know. And it's just crazy because he was upset with what the fans were saying, and somehow that equated to him insulting the NXT roster, which that's like the icy man yelling at me and then me punching the ice cream man in the face. I don't know. It's a little bit ridiculous. Now we have a few segments. I just want to talk about these two. So we have Kalani Jordan backstage. Tatum comes up to her and says, "Let's play." And Kalani's like, "Girl, no." As she should, because what are you talking about? No. Joe Hendry says he wants to fight Joe Coffey next week, which has already been finalized and will be happening. What were your thoughts on these two segments before we get into the main event?
Oh no, I was happy with. I was okay with the segments. They weren't bad. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Pat will be back. to that statement. But no, I thought the segments were cool. I was okay with, Kalani and Tatum. I was cool with that. I'm kind of looking forward to see kind of where this goes. But they were both. I can't picture you punching an ice cream guy. I feel like that's. I mean, for me, I think it depends on the kind of ice cream guy it is. Because if it's an ice cream guy who want to charge me like $7 for a cone, I might have to punch him. Because how dare you? Inflation my ass. Let's get together. Let's get it together. If it's a nice ice cream man who might have given me an extra scoop or something, like, you know what, my guy, you're a real one. Appreciate you in this times of trials and tribulations and all. And so, yeah, whose fire alarm is going off? What are you talking about? Oh, I did. Okay, to be fair, I'm not hearing no fire alarm, so I don't know.
Because you're minding your business. Stop minding my fire alarm's business. Stop minding it.
Not me now hearing it.
Exactly. You don't talk about it. It's like Santa Claus. You don't talk about it. It's not happening. You guys keep talking about it. I'm lazy to change the battery. Leave me alone. Actually, let me be lazy and please.
Listen, no, it's like, listen. So, true story. Some years ago, I was at Governor's Island trying to get some ice cream, and I just like made a joke about, like, he told me the price, and I was like shocked. But I was gonna buy the ice cream anyway. And he said with an attitude, I was like, ew, like, calm that down. Let me be flabbergasted that this price was insane, you know? But yeah, he didn't get punched. He lived to tell, he lived to fight another day. So I guess, I wasn't violent. But it should have been for the shenanigans. But yeah, I didn't hear the battery, to be fair, until that was said. And then I heard it no other time. So I don't know.
I'm going to change battery right after this. I've just been lazy, all right? Main event time! We have Roxanne Perez versus Thea. I cannot get a Blues Clue Hail for the NXT Women's Championship. Now, starting off, moves over here. Thea was using her strength and speed, mostly her speed, going back and forth with Roxanne. Listen, because now you have literally summoned the spirit of it, and I feel like it's going faster now. Thea hits a moonsault on the outside. Roxanne did damage to Thea's arm at some point in the match, which became a very serious part about everything. And it's how everything unfolds. Thea powers up at one point and gets a suplex and a neck breaker on Roxanne. Roxanne catches Thea in a submission, but she rolls out because she's smart. Roxanne then hits a dive on the outside. Thea hits a dive back because Roxanne, for some reason, wanted to talk crap to Andre Chase. Girl, keep your eyes on the prize and lock in. Thea hits a crossbody, then a Michinoku driver. A lot of Michinoku drivers tonight. It's a popular night for the Michinoku driver. She got a pin attempt for that. Thea then hit a backslide over a reveal. Wait, hold on. A backslide over a reversal. Who the hell put reveal there? I'm so excited. She reversed the pop Roxanne to a backslide. Thea gets Roxanne in a Kimura. Roxanne reverses it again. There were so many reversals in this match. Thea hits a death drop for a pin attempt. Roxanne pokes her in the eyes at one point. Thea hits the Kimura lock again on Roxanne, but Roxanne rolls out. She rolls them both out. And then she pushes Thea into the steel steps. She pushes her arm. She goes like this chicken wing. Boom, into the shoulder. Bob Backlund would love it. Thea gets her in another Kimura lock. Somehow, Roxanne then reverses, hits Pop Rocks. Roxanne Perez is your winner. The rightful winner. And Ridge is looking upset. Why are you looking upset, Ridge? If you wanted her to win, you should have did some cheatering on the outside. You didn't do any cheatering. You just stood there looking all disappointed. And I just know he's going to say something so wild to Thea next week. And once again, I will be proven right that Ridge is an informant. And yeah, that's it. What were your thoughts on that match and Ridge being?
I thought this was a really good match, actually. And I found comments. Somebody said it's probably her best match to date. I'm gonna have to agree there. She really did her. I felt like this is probably the best we've seen her. And I'm not saying that she hasn't been not saying that it hasn't been she hasn't been getting better, because she has been. But I do think that this was definitely her best. Definitely her best. I like it. As far as Ridge, let me tell you, I'm like, this is what you gotta beat up Ridge, because why? I already didn't like you as it is, and now you sitting here interfering in a match with my girls in it. Like, Ridge, what are you supposed to do with your life? I thought he said he was gonna be gone. Why is he still here? Who said? You know what, guys? Rich can say. Who said it? So I can find him and slap him up. Because how dare you? And that's for this. I thought he was going like, yes, saving TV time from somebody who matters. And now here we are. Here we are. And I'm like, see, Rich, clearly you should have took your advice. You should have been gone. You should have got yourself together off TV. I didn't need to see it. I didn't need to see it at all. So I was like, I don't like him. I didn't like this at all. But either way, I really, really, really thought this was a really, really fantastic matchup between them. I definitely do think that even with Roxanne calling Thea a little girl when they're really not far from age, I think they're very close in age. So it's kind of funny. I was like, girl, no, stop. Talk about, like, you're not that old. Like, calm that down. But I thought this was a really nice back and forth. I thought even with the Kimura locks, I thought really, really, like, Thea really kind of gave her A game here. I don't know if that means it's over for her, at least, like, challenging again for this, against Roxanne at least. But I thought she really gave an amazing showing, and I'm thinking that's, like, maybe Sean trusting her to, like, maybe be more into the main event type picture. But I thought it was really good. But Rich, terrible stuff. I hope something like, he's like taking a walk down some steps and go, oops, and like, oh, well, oopsie daisy, a little trip. He'll be fine, but a little trip, catch himself. And then when he almost falls, he can be like, you know what, maybe I can mind my business next time. And all can be right in the universe. That's all I'm saying. Maybe he need to get himself together. Possibly. Possibly. If they do move her away from Jakara, I can very well see it. If they move her away. But yeah, no, absolutely fantastic main event.
100% best match of the night. Again, I still feel like this first half of Great American Bash felt very just like a regular NXT episode. I do think next week looks really, really fun, especially the match with Axiom, Nathan, and MSK. That looks like a really fun match. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm very, very, very excited about that. So next week, and finally all the fruit roll-ups, they can finally shut up, because they've been screaming about these little roll-ups for weeks. So now the fruit roll-ups can be silenced next week by All Ego Ethan Page. I'm excited for this. But with that being said, that is the end of the first part of the Great American Bash NXT episode on Sci-Fi. Chloe just scared me to death. I'm not going to tell you, my dog just scared me. It was like a little shadow that just came towards me, and I genuinely was about to jump. But with that being said, where can we find you, amazing woman over here?
You can find me on Cat We Trust, E3 in every place but Twitch, Facebook, YouTube. You can find me otherwise at the E3. Just keep look out on my channel. It's been a very weird few months. Very busy, but very weird. But as far as I'm now prepping for the book side of things, we're just next week. I'll be I'll be gone for a bit just to kind of do this book thing, and so when I get back, then I can be back into the wrestling. Well, I'll be back. I might have to figure out how to watch the rest on a plane, but whatever. Because I believe when it comes out, I will be doing this. That's terrible stuff. That's really negative energy, But I'm gonna let you. And then obviously Tuesdays catch me for NXT with my twin, for recapping on Meta-Two AfterShow, and on Wednesdays with Stephanie to do But that's it.
Yes. And you can find me at Shay Sawyer _ on Twitter, on Instagram, and on and you can also catch my Twitch, which is just Shay Sawyer. And you can catch a new episode of the Big Pop Theory podcast. Gotta take a little break because the co-host had to go to DreamCon. He was doing his thing. But we will be back this Monday with a new episode. And let's hope, because if things do not go my way for SummerSlam, you are going to have a full 2-hour rant that you have never heard in your entire life on a podcast. It's going to be 2 hours of me yelling about one finish. And then the rest, like maybe 15 minutes dedicated to whatever else is going on in the rest of the world. And I'm not kidding. So yeah, with that being said, guys, thank you guys for sitting with us through this. And my fire alarm is very happy to be here as special guests. This will be their first and last appearance on the show. And what? I support that message, Jeffrey. She does not.
I do not. Because ill. Okay, every time I see Liv Morgan on my screen, on my internet devices, I'm sounding super old right now, on my devices, on my screen, on commercials, I'm like, who asked for this nonsense? Why Rhea is there, being the queen she is, and just, it's just, I have to ask what SpongeBob said, Pourquoi? Why is the world cruel? I don't understand.
Get out of here!
I got
you JC Jane apologist. Get out!
I don't have my tribal chief. I've been without my tribal chief for weeks, and now I don't have Rhea. It's like, what else do you take away from me, world? What else? How dare you say she makes it watchable? I'm not. No. Okay, she makes me not want to watch it, and my guy's on there, and I'm like, oh, boo. I have to suffer to see Ilya Dragunov. It's terrible stuff. But the world has taken enough. It's taken enough. It's okay though. I'm alright.
She's going through it, guys. She's going through it. Send her money to her parents. How dare you?
I just saw the ring the alarm comment, and then that happened. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry.
This is the last visit. So guys, thank you for coming. This is the Meta-Two. We have to come up with like a pose or something. The Meta-Two. My finger. Meta-Two AfterShow, guys. I'm gonna go now. I'm pressing the button, so we're just gonna disappear at some point. So just yeah.